Every land is a conversation. It's a dialogue between the wind and the hills, between the river and the stone, between the people who live here today and the echoes of those who came before. Long before the Etruscan villages, long before the vineyards, even before written history, humans were already living in the Valdichiana Senese, hunting in the forests, sheltering in caves, leaving their mark on the valley. They were the first to shape the soul of this place. This is more than a landscape carved by nature. It is a territory forged by life itself. This deep connection continues to attract people from all over the world, giving them something they didn't even know they were looking for. A sense of belonging, a sense of home, not as a point on a map, but as a dwelling for the soul. We often describe a region by its monuments or its wine, but what truly defines a landscape is this feeling, which is exactly what Piero Calamandrei, one of the founding fathers of the Italian Constitution, whom we met in episode 2, meant when he spoke of patria. To him, homeland was not about a flag or a border, but something more intimate, not where you're told you belong, but where you feel you belong. He imagined a homeland built on pivotal moments, the village where your father went to school or where you met your first love, the hidden church where a painter found inspiration, the place where a poet wrote words that feel like they were stolen from your own heart. Homeland as a shared emotional space. That idea fits the Valdichiana perfectly. It's the belief that your ancestors and your artists are part of the same family. And here, this family is still growing. This final episode of Clanis is about the many living souls of the valley. In some places, history is all around us. The Valdichiana Senese in southern Tuscany is one such place. A landscape of rolling hills, thermal springs, and ancient roads. Here, ruins and stories continue to emerge. Not only from the soil, but from the collective memory of the people who live here. Like the memory of a river that no longer exists, or rather, a river that disappeared, but never truly vanished. Its name was Clanis. I am John Aquilecchia, and this is Clanis, a series by Cora Media in collaboration with Valdichiana Living. Following the ghosts of the Clanis River from its sacred Etruscan roots to the Renaissance masters, we've come across many people and their stories. After 2,000 years of transformations, the valley is more alive than ever. Some places don't just inspire dreamers and creative souls, they adopt them. Take Petroio, a tiny hilltop village of barely 400 people, known for its terracotta clay that has been shaped by hand for thousands of years. The streets here are narrow, opening suddenly onto terraces suspended above the hills. During the winter, at dawn, mist settles between the folds of the valleys below, revealing only the highest ridges, like islands floating in a silent white ocean. This is where Kaori Shiina lives. She was born in Tokyo and lived in Milan for years working as a designer, but fell in love with this valley 30 years ago. Not because of luxury, not because of fashion, because of something simple, unexpected: olive oil. One night, in a restaurant near Trequanda, she tasted something she had never tasted before, and from that moment on, the Valdichiana Senese captured her heart. Years later, just before the pandemic, she and her husband left the city for good, and what she found in Petroio wasn't isolation, it was community. She learned how to make pici, the thick, hand-rolled local pasta with the women of the village. She joined the festivals. She started living in sync with the beat of the seasons. And she didn't give up on design either. Today, she works with local artisans, creating objects that carry both beauty and a human touch. For Kaori, this valley isn't an escape from the world. It's a place to create a better one, together.
Inizialmente non sapevo, ma vivendo mi sono accorta che c'è una cultura veramente profonda.
At first, I didn't realize it, but living here, I came to understand that there is a really deep culture. I don't mean that every town is ancient or full of famous works of art. I mean that people here are deeply connected to culture. Not just art, but life itself, food, relationships, the joy of living. That has given me so much.
Further south lies Cetona. From a distance, it appears timeless. Stone houses gathered around a large, elegant piazza, home to charming cafes and small artisan shops, with Mount Cetona rising behind it. It is no coincidence that the same piazza is overlooked by the majestic villa that hosted Valentino, the famous fashion designer, for over 30 years. A man who certainly knew a thing or two about beauty and eternal elegance. Some people call places like this retirement towns, quiet places where life is supposed to slow down. But for the people who live here, Cetona is a vibrant soul, and it has always been this way. This town sits on prehistoric ground. Neanderthals once lived in caves here. Humans settled this place not hundreds of years ago, but thousands. The Civic Museum for Prehistory of Mount Cetona preserves artifacts from the Paleolithic through the Bronze Age. And just outside the village, the Archaeological Naturalistic Park allows visitors to walk across that distant past, exploring prehistoric sites and the reconstructions of ancient dwellings. In many ways, Cetona is the primordial cradle of the Valdichiana Senese, a place that has always nurtured vitality. Since then, people have come here not to rest, but to create something new. Some transformed the valley, helping it grow in different ways. Think of those who once tamed the Clanis River, while others chose it as a place for the soul. Among those who felt this call was the great director and screenwriter Federico Fellini. Back in the 1960s, he chose the thermal town of Chianciano Terme as one of the settings for his Academy Award-winning masterpiece, 8½. Suddenly, this became a cinematic landscape with a dreamlike atmosphere. Fantasy mixed with memory, life mixed with art. That is precisely what Chianciano offers. Steam rising from the thermal pools feels like memory made visible. Part of the spa complex was even recreated at Cinecittà Studios in Rome for the film. Through Fellini's lens, Chianciano became the ultimate stage for the Dolce Vita, bringing a touch of Valdichiana's oniric soul to cinema history. The valley has carried a cinematic atmosphere ever since, a sense that life here is always slightly infused with imagination. Fellini was not left alone. In 2019, director Matteo Garrone chose the historic farm of La Fratta near Sinalunga as one of the locations for the film Pinocchio, starring Roberto Benigni. La Fratta is not just a film set. It is a centuries-old estate where the famous Chianina cows are still raised today, an ancient breed known for its impressive size, its strength, and for the legendary Tuscan T-bone steak, the bistecca alla Fiorentina. Here, cinema meets the authentic rural soul of the Valdichiana Senese. But this valley always has another surprise just around the corner. Now look at Montepulciano. From a distance, this hilltop town appears like a Renaissance painting. Palaces carved from the mountain itself, where the boundary between rock and architecture disappears. Golden travertine facades that capture the light of the setting sun. But beneath the surface lies another hidden world, a unique labyrinth of historic cellars where the famous Vino Nobile di Montepulciano ages in silence. We can visit the town in its underground and experience centuries of wine culture or a vampire story. Do you remember New Moon, the second chapter of the Twilight Saga? That movie was filmed right here, through the narrow and steep streets of Montepulciano. This town has always managed to cast a spell on and inspire the boldest creative minds. This is exactly why we can call it a permanent creative workshop. Winemaking, art history, cinema, and also opera, theater, symphonic music, and experimental productions. In 1976, the German composer Hans Werner Henze started something new in Montepulciano, the Cantiere Internazionale d'Arte. In Italian, cantiere means a construction site. Henze didn't want a festival where an audience just sits in silence, but a construction site of art. He wanted a workshop where the whole town could be involved. Local residents would become participants, not mere spectators. And it's still happening today. During the last 2 weeks of July, if you walk through Montepulciano, you can hear cellos tuning in ancient cellars and operatic voices echoing off the stone walls. The whole town becomes the stage for a vibrant show of performing arts. In recent years, the Cantiere has also become a traveling show, bringing performances to several towns across the Valdichiana Senese. Montepulciano also hosts another unique treasure, the European Academy of Music and Visual Arts at Palazzo Ricci, created in collaboration with the University of Cologne in Germany. From spring to autumn, the palace opens its doors for intimate, world-class concerts. Because in the Valdichiana Senese, creativity isn't an event, it's a way of life. This proclivity towards art has inspired those who grew up here to connect with it and sometimes even make their own. In a world that moves too fast and forgets even faster, the Valley does something radical. It doesn't sell nostalgia, it offers continuity. Perhaps this is why so many different souls meet here. The prehistoric soul of the first humans who lived in these caves, the rural soul of the farmers who shaped the hills, the artistic soul of those who turned this landscape into music, cinema, and art. The Clanis River may have disappeared from the map, but its valley is still flowing. It is still alive. It lives in the fields, in the towns, and in the souls of those who call it home. This valley isn't meant to be a museum. It's a living site, always under construction. Calamandre was right. This landscape isn't just scenery. It's a face, a living person, and it's waiting for you. Now that we've traveled across this land together, through water, stone, memory, and imagination, the next journey is yours alone. Clanis is a Cora Media podcast produced in partnership with Valdichiana Living and the Valdichiana Senese Tourism Board. Written and adapted by Anita Franzon and narrated by me, John Aquilecchia. The series editor is Graziano Nani. The sound designer is Aurora Ricci. The project manager is Marco Paltrinieri. The producer is Sabrina Patilli. The head of post-production is Matteo Scelsa. The studio engineer is Christian Galdini.